Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Arknights Rise from Ember episode number 4 reaction. Alright, the previous episode I reacted to the two episodes in the previous video where we got to know about Teresa and the backstory of W, all those things we got to know. We got to know about Doctor before he had amnesia, and like people kind of talk about him as if someone who is very logical, kind of cold-hearted, maybe, like that type of a person. But obviously the current Doctor we know is definitely not like that. So a lot of people, like this new Doctor, they prefer this new Doctor a lot more, and like that whole thing. So yeah, that was the episode number 2, and then we had episode number 3 where we had the attack. We like literally went to war with the what's their name, with the reunion, and Rosmonthis was there. We get to know more about Rosmonthis, and like what's her situation, how she was like artificially implanted, like with oripathy in her brain, I think they said, yeah, something like that. And all those things we got to know. And yeah, the battle has begun, so let's see where this goes. Let us begin. I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here. Sync it to whichever is a preference, and let's get started. Okay, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, there he is. Oh, yeah, he cannot speak properly. Oh, um, okay, right. Hmm. Hmm. Right. Hmm. Hmm. Damn. Oh, yeah. Oh. Oh. Well, yeah. Well, obviously he. Oh, she called him, just calling him Bozokaski, and then changed her. It's, damn. Dude, stand by now. Hmm. Ah. Well. Whoa. What is? Oh, here we go. The ritual within the body as the medium. Oh, which of the corrodes life form. Right. Okay. Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Well, corporate has made it to a okay. Wow. He's still just. Is he going to throw it? He's throwing it. Hey. Okay. No. Oh my God. It just pierced through. Working. Okay. Right. Well. Oh, he's going to. God damn. Oh, well, that was a distraction. Distraction. Oh, What? What was that? Our son. Wait, why is she getting? Oh, wow. He took it and just. This is his son. Oh my god. Ugh. Damn, he just pummeled monster. Oh wait, she's taking out the. Oh right. Oh, oh yeah, the one that Talula gave her. Yeah, he's not gonna forgive us. Unlike Frost Nova, who in the end. Mm, Oh my god. Hmm. Uh, what? Wait. Wait. What's? Oh, she was. Wait. What? Wait. I need to come back here later and reread this section. Yeah. He doesn't want any lie. Yeah. He's like, I don't want any of these. What? Is wait. Is he like ring like a? Raw. Oh my god. Oh, damn. Mm. Yeah, Patriot, like we see, Patriot kind of did went up until now because he wanted the others to move on their own path. I don't think. Yeah, but we're technically not. Oh boy. Ah, I see. I was wondering how does Kelshi know him? So that's why he had connections with Teresa. Right. Okay, that was today's episode. Alright, I need to understand a few things here. Again, a lot of things I'm a little bit unclear about. But one thing, like the biggest thing that we can get from today's episode is Amia is like he calls Amia. What did he call her? Like the king of fiends or something like that. Um. So at first I was like, wait, what? Like what is he talking about? So also I was unsure of what type of connection he had with Kelshi and like how does Kelshi know him. But in the end, when Kelshi said that, I realized that oh, so he had connections with Teresa. So because in the previous episode we saw they had to give up Teresa and sacrifice her. Uh, because obviously we saw like the whole political like situation. They had to give up like Teresa for, like I guess like as a like as a that whole thing. What was it called? Um, as a way of showing like, oh yeah, we are like, like that part, that whole section in the previous episode where they mentioned, where we saw W hunting down those guys, and they were like, even though we were enemies, Teresa, those guys who killed Teresa, they said like, even though we were enemies, she was still concerned about us, and those guys broke down crying. Yeah, so that section we see like Teresa had to be sacrificed over there. So here we can see, this is where Kelshi says like Patriot like betrayed three times, right? Yeah. First one obviously was the whole section with Teresa where they had to give up Teresa and he couldn't do anything. That was the first betrayal. The second was obviously against Tallulah, and the third is this part, Yeah. Okay. Oh no, sorry, two times. When he turned his back on Teresa for the Emperor of Ursus. Yeah, when he stood up against Ursus and sided with Tallulah. Yeah, and now three betrayals. There you go. And now the third betrayal. He overcame his lifetime of suffering and chose you. Tallulah once had a place in the depths of his heart, but now you're there. Yeah, alright, so there you go. So yeah, those were the three betrayals. And when Keishi said that, I realized that, oh yeah, so he had connections with Teresa, and that is why I guess he knew Keishi, and also he knew about a lot of things that, like he called Amiya as the emperor and the lord of fiends or something like that. Now I don't know what type of like, there was like a little crown that we were seeing on top of Amiya's head. Now I genuinely have no idea what's going on here. This part was the most confusing to me, but it is pretty obvious that something is definitely special about Amiya. We've seen that before as well, but now it's coming to light what exactly it is. So here we go. He says, "Is it you, courteous girl? I heard in the past, lords of Sarkas gave visions to comfort as favors to warriors. Um, you are her Oh, I see. So, by you are her successor, he's talking about Teresa, right? So, Amiya is supposed to be Teresa's successor? Like, he called Amiya the Lord of Fiends or something like that, and he also mentioned that they have this power to show their opponents like like visions of their past that they hold precious as a little recompense at the end of their life. And the fact that Amiya is doing it made him realize that, oh, it's you. No, you are supposed to be Teresa's successor. And yeah, okay, you're her successor, you're the Lord of Fiends, and you can see like that little crown on top of her head. I'm assuming Patriot was the only one who was seeing that, or I don't know. Okay, now this part, when Anya was like, no, I don't want you to like end like this, I was trying to help you out, like, and he was like, oh, but can you give us what Tallulah gave us? And she's like, no, I cannot do it myself, but I have other people here with me. And then this is where Patriot is like, in that case, change all of this, overthrow this fate, and you can see that crown properly now. So on top of Amiya's head, there's like a crown with two horns. Like there's a crown, and then there's like two horns on top of it. As foretold in the prophecy, I shall die by your hands. Okay, now I don't know what prophecy that he's talking about. I'm assuming there's some kind of prophecy. Like among his people, maybe like the Wendigos or something. I don't know. In the hands of the king of Sarkas. Yeah, so obviously he is saying that Amiya is supposed to be the current king of Sarkas. Kelsey says it can't be. A circus is, and then he starts saying something like I see countless cities devastated and all that. So it was as if like he's seeing like some kind of vision or something. Okay, this part I didn't understand it properly. This section. So I see originum blanketing the land. All operate on anything he says. Do not listen. Do not believe a single word. Melting millions of lives into nothing but memories. Okay. I see the king of Sarkas enslaving all peoples everywhere. Okay, what was that? He like like the sky became red. His eyes started glowing for a moment. It seemed like he was like in some kind of a hallucination or something. And then he came back to his, and he's like, "What?" So Keshi says, "Do not listen to it, Bodokasti." No, this is a. Do you not fight against fate your entire life? This is a, not. No, this is a Sarkas prophecy. All the prophecies come true. Young king of Sarkas, you will be. Yeah, because he was saying like the king of Sarkas is going to enslave everyone and all that stuff he was saying. So now he's saying, young king of Sarkas, you will be the most horrific disaster to afflict our world. He says like Amia would be that one. I cannot let you leave. So he goes and okay, and this is where okay, now this part as well I need to understand. Like what was that at the end? It seemed like as if Frostnova was speaking to him or something. That was Frostnova's voice, right? Or was that Helena? Okay, so okay, I have no idea. If whose voice was that? You should not kill her now. If something goes wrong in the future, we can figure it out with her then. Whatever happens in the future. And then there were some scenes we were seeing. There's another scene that all it was like number 13 and the what was that? Let's try walking this path with her. Number 13. Wait, number 13. Oh, that was Frostnova's grave, right? Where we saw like Los Montes. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was that like some kind of a like that we seeing like there's like caution, and like there's a lot of people like kind of looking through the glass like thing. And number 13, the pointer is like max. So at that point, was Frostnova's grave like emitting something, some kind of like was something happening, which was, and he heard that. Yeah, father. So obviously, who else is going to call him father? It is Frostnova or Yelena. And it was a girl's voice. So obviously, like it is her. It is not his son. And like as we see, we see that place where Rosmontes put her. That like number 13, that one as well. Okay, I understand now. It was something like that, I'm assuming. So okay. So what the hell was that? Why was he hearing Yelena's voice saying these things to him, and then he kind of stopped? Yeah, and he stopped from attacking Amia, and then he passed on. Right. Okay. Yeah. So this was the part where I there's a lot of section things in this section that I didn't understand, but now that I'm like looking back at this part, I think I've understood most of it. So, like I was saying, I wasn't understanding the whole like the King of Fiends, that whole section. But then when I'm looking back at this scene again. I'm realizing what by the King of Fiends he's talking about, as he said, the Emperor of the Sarkas, and the previous Emperor of Sarkas was Teresa, and that's why he's calling her the successor of her successor. By her, I'm assuming he's talking about Teresa, because he mentioned before, as we see, Kelshi mentioned before, that he betrayed Teresa. So, like, he obviously had connections with Teresa. He knew about her and all that. Yeah. So he's saying that Mamiya is supposed to be like her successor, and currently she's supposed to be like the king of circuses. And according to him, like, I'm not exactly sure what this whole prophecy is about, but I'm assuming, like, probably he's special. Maybe he hears these prophecies or something. Maybe, like, do all circus hear this prophecy? I don't think so, right? I'm assuming it's like, maybe like only him, or maybe only his race, like the Wendigos, maybe, I don't know. So let me know. So this prophecy is telling him that, oh, like, Amia, not Amia, it didn't directly say Amia. It said that the the king of the circus will be the one who will bring catastrophe. She's going to be the, not she, but the king of the circuses will be the one who will, like, enslave everyone or something like that, they were saying. And that is why he kind of got, like, he was like, oh, I need to take you out immediately. But the thing is, here's the thing. I feel like that logic is kind of flawed, because if he thinks that, oh yeah, king of the circus, and he's like, oh, let's take Amia out, even if he's able to take Amia out immediately, since this is a prophecy, anything can happen in the future. Maybe someone else is going to become the king of circus. I don't know how you become the king of circus. Is this something that is passed on to people? Is this hereditary? Like, what is this? I have no idea. Like, is this like a, like, oh, like, I appoint you the king of, I'm not sure how it happens. I'm not sure how Teresa, like, after Teresa it came to Amia. I'm not sure how that happened. Maybe they'll talk about all of these later. But however it happens, since the prophecy says that the king of circus will be the one who's going to be, enslaving everyone and all that, if you kill Amia now, who knows, in the future some other person who is the king of circus is going to do that. So I feel like it is kind of, like, pointless to do anything to Amia now, because this is a prophecy. This can happen anytime in the future. The prophecy didn't mention that it's going to be Amia. It just mentioned the king of the circus, right? Yeah, the current king of circus is Amia, I'm assuming, from what he's saying. But who knows what's going to happen in the future? So, that kind of thing. So I feel like that was a little bit, yeah, like, it could, like, something else could happen. Even if he took out Amia, like, if this prophecy is supposed to be coming true, it will come true, whatever happens. It's a prophecy. So yeah, anyways, we don't know much about all of that, but all these things, I was a bit confused here, but like, I haven't been able to understand. Let me know if there's something that maybe I'm still not getting, or maybe I'm misunderstanding. You can let me know in the comments. But yeah, like, that was the part where I had to properly see and read what was going on, because like, it was a bit confusing at the beginning. But anyways, we know what was happening here, and now that Patriot is, like, is gone now. Like, we got the key, so I'm assuming we can stop this place from, like, colliding with the with the Lungman, since we have the keys now, right? Okay, now, right, that was that. Now let me talk about the few other things in this episode that we saw. Now, a few things that to talk about here. Like I said at the beginning, when Patriot started calling Kelshi and as, like, oh, like, Dame, I think he called her, and Kelshi called him Bodokasti. So I'm assuming, like, Bodokasti is supposed to be like his name before. From what little tidbits of information that we got from here, we got to know that he was actually supposed to be like a soldier of Ursus. And in that vision we saw, Helena was like, I'm assuming that's his wife. Helena, he couldn't protect Helena, and Helena was like, according to him, he couldn't do anything to save Helena. And Helena said that, oh, like, like, do not live your life alone. If you want to continue your, like, life, like, be what you have to be happy. Do what you have to do to be happy, and I will forever love you and your future family as well. And then obviously we saw his son after that, and something happened to his son as well. He couldn't survive that. He got another, he had another loss, and after that I'm guessing he adopted Yelena, which was Frost Nova, and then Frost Nova is also gone now. So all these things happen. So here, on top of that, as we get to know from later from Kelshi, like Teresa's, like giving up Teresa as well was something that he had to do, and that also is something that he considers as a betrayal, because obviously he was an Ursus soldier, so he was doing his thing according to that. His son also said something related to, like, oh, is being an Ursus soldier that important to you, that like, even if these guys are the ones who bothers us and who prosecutes us in the future, you're going to like do your duty? Is that what you're going to do? Right? I think that's what he says. Let me read this section. Here we go. I'm begging you, stop following the empire's orders. Father, those are all lies meant to spread hatred for the infected. If I get infected, will you turn a blind eye to me? Father, is being Bodokasti the soldier really important to you? Yeah. So that, like, from from what we can understand, he was this very loyal soldier who was going according to what the empire told him, and obviously, like, like, he lost Helena. He had his son, and his son was also had a little bit, was not happy about what he was doing, just following orders. And then I'm guessing his son also died after that. Yeah, Grovazil, you were innocent. Your father couldn't walk the right path. Yeah, and then after that, I'm guessing, like, he obviously he continued along his path. So they had to give up Teresa as well. That he considers another betrayal towards Teresa. So that was that. Then the other betrayal was when, at the end, like, he put his trust in Tallulah, and now he's going against Tallulah, because obviously what Tallulah is doing is not what he wants. So that is also another betrayal that he considers a betrayal. And then obviously the final one, which was connected to Amia. So yeah, that is his whole story, as we get to know. Now, another thing I think, like, was one of the biggest reasons why he didn't stop fighting. It is because, as we can see, there were, like, a lot of things going on here. Like, obviously you can't, like, this is like a question that Amia says, not Amia, sorry, Kelshi says, I think, that you have, or was it Kelshi or was it Amia? Either one of them said something like this. They said that you have a path to, like, lay down your arms, and you have a path to survive. Why are you not taking it? At which he was like, no, like, I'm going to fight up until the end. So that question, I think, like, a lot of people might ask, but as far as my understanding, like, there's a lot of things going on. Like, yeah, he could have easily, like, dropped down his arms and be like, yeah, I surrender and all that, and like, do whatever you want. He could have done that, but a lot of things probably wouldn't have worked out. Number one, you can understand he's tired. You can understand that he's tired of all of this fighting, and he wanted to go out while fighting at the end, and he just wanted to rest, because that is why at the end you can see he was like, it's over, finally I can go to you, guys, all his, his family and everyone. He was thinking. So that is number one. He's tired of this whole, like, fight and everything. He just wants to rest now. Number two, there's a lot of people following him. So, like, he wanted the fight to be just against him, because he didn't want others to get involved in it, because if the others get involved in it as well, they have their own life to live. He didn't want them to lay down their lives for him and this goal. He wants to rest, but he wants the other people behind him to not, like, just, like, to live their own life, which is something that Amia also says at the end, or was it Kelshi, that, like, why are you doing this? Why are you, like, Patriot is gone. Like, Patriot wanted you guys to live your own life. Do what you want. Like, think about what you want to do, and follow that. You don't have to, like, there's no hard and fast rule. You have to, like, follow something. Is that what you really want? Then do it. like that kind of thing. So that is also another thing that I think he wanted. He just wanted like the men that are following him, he wanted them to make their own decisions, and like he didn't want them to get involved in his fight, because he knows he's going to die. He knows this is be his end. He knows that he'll die fighting here. He didn't want the others to get involved in that. He didn't want to drag others along with his like last battle. That was another thing. And obviously, like we see, it was like a way of kind of like like doing what your ideals tell you to do. Like like he wanted to, up until the very end, he wanted to just follow what he thought was correct and what was the right way. And as you can see, by the end it was far too late. Like, yeah, his final goal obviously was to like stop Talula, I guess. And like, not stop Talula, sorry. His final goal was to like just like, where's that part? Just a minute. No, not this part. This is the part where they talk about Frost Nova. Okay. I could not stand all the killing, so I left Her Highness. Yeah. Ulysses is now my homeland, yet the killing continues. You still call her Her Highness. A king is a king. We're not here for bloodshed. Okay, all that. And he says like, Her Highness trusted you, so I too trust you. But then, yeah, then he talks about like Anya and the others, like that whole section with like Frost Nova. He talks about how you have the smell of her death with you. Yeah, and then when we tell them like, oh, Talula is trying to like set this city on a collision course for the Lungmen, and he's like, yeah, I know about it. It is transmitting and use a signal, right? Then why are you doing this? How do I tell the infected the leader is mad, that their struggle is for nothing? Yeah, I cannot let Reunion destroy itself. Do you seek vengeance, Patriot? No, Dame. I loathe fate. If fate lets you make me turn, I would rather never. Right. So okay, I understand it a bit better now. Okay, now that I reread this section. So basically, what he's saying is that there's no logic in this. Basically, he himself admitted to it. That he's like, yeah, I know what is happening is not okay, but there's a lot of factors going on. Like I said, a few of the things that I talked about, I think those still hold true. Like, I think number one, he was tired of this fighting. He wanted to go out in a battlefield. Number two, he didn't want like his men to get involved. Like, he didn't want to drag the men that are following them with him. That's why he wanted to solo the whole situation and die on his own and give the others freedom to do what they want to do. And then obviously, as you can see, now that I've read this part, I've realized a few other things. Another reason why he was like so like stubborn here is because, as he says, that what am I supposed to tell the others? That your leader has gone mad, like that we should stop this. Like, I cannot do that. Like, so that is why, like, I'm just, like he's here. He knows what Talula is doing is not okay, and they should stop it. But he's like, no, I'm still going to stand in your way. There's another thing that he says, and this is not really like a proper reason. That's why I'm saying there's no logic in what he's saying. It's more emotional, I guess you could say. So another reason why he is standing here in our way is, as he says, that like, I hate fate, I loathe fate. If fate is going to make me like turn back, then I'd rather not. I'd rather stand here and fight against fate. And and that's why I'm standing here against you guys. So that's why I'm saying there's no logic to it. Basically, it's more of like pride and like emotion and like all those things, like pride not only for himself but the people that are doing this, like all the reunion members who are genuinely fighting for a cause. Like he's like, yeah, I will not like betray them in that sense. Like they're here and I'm here as well. My duty is to stop you guys. I'm going to do that. So all these were like the thing, and that's why in the end he says like, fight me, defeat me, and then yeah. Another thing you could kind of say that another thing he probably wanted here, like I said, he wanted to like rest. He wanted like the battlefield to be his resting place probably. But then there's another thing, which is like, he says that at one of the scenes, he says that if you cannot stop me, how can you stop Tallulah? So it was like a way he like he knows that what Tallulah is doing is not okay and she should be stopped. But he's like, if you're not even able to do anything to me, what can you do against Tallulah? So fight me, defeat me, and then move forward. You could say that it was like a test for the others to what is going to come in the future. That kind of thing. So yeah, all these reasons. These are, I feel like, like today's episode was very, like it was basically getting to see what Patriot thought about the situation. How he knows that what's happening, what Tallulah is doing is not okay, but how he still stands against us because of so many of these reasons, which like, yeah. Because the thing is, like I said, logically, if you think about it, yeah, he could have just laid down his arms and he could have just been like, all right, but obviously not. He is not someone like that. All these reasons that he said were the reasons why he stood against us. Like he cannot betray the people behind him. As he says, I cannot really tell everyone that your leader is mad. And like he had his own reasonings. He wanted a resting place. He was just tired by the end of it. He just wanted to, yeah, like all these things. Now, in the end, as we can see, like Amiya tries to kind of like show him that, like that scene. I thought that was just like it happens in anime characters when you are almost dying, you get like a vision, like, oh, I'm coming to you guys. I thought it was one of that. Turns out it was Amiya showing him that vision, which we get to know later. He was like, what are you doing? Stop it. Do not show me these. I wanted to give you a more peaceful. And he says like, no, I do not need your consolation. Peace. That is not my end. If it is tragic, then it is tragic. If it is foolish, then it is foolish. I tried to defeat fate and was defeated. So yeah, there you go. That's the thing. Like, you can say that Amiya obviously wanted to do the, like, try to help him, like by showing him this vision. But to him, it was the biggest insult as a warrior. As he said, he's like, I attempted to defy fate and I got defeated. And I deserve that. I don't want any consolations. It's something like that. Like, if you think about it, this is something, these type of like this is something that like warriors only have, where they know and they're very much ready to admit defeat when they know they have been defeated, and they want to go like that. If you try to like console them and be like, oh, it's fine and all that, that will be the insult to them, because he knew what he was getting into. As a warrior, he knew what he was getting into, and he also knows the ending, the consequences that he's supposed to get after he gets defeated. So after getting defeated, if you try to, do these things and try to console them, that is the biggest insult as a warrior, in that sense. So that was what he was trying to say. He was like, no, I don't want like any type of consolation. I don't want these type of visions and all that. Like, even if I've been fighting for 200 years and everything, as a warrior, I knew what I was getting into. Yeah, I have made my mistakes, but those mistakes are only for me to bear. Those are my mistakes. I don't want anyone else to be like, oh, like, like try to like console me for that. As a warrior, I picked my fights. I might have made mistakes, and those mistakes costed me a lot. I know that, and I am ready to bear those burdens. I don't want anyone else trying to poke their nose into that and try to console me or make my burden lighter. That is my burden. That is what I did. That was my mistake. Everything that comes with that, I have to bear it, and I will bear it at the end. I don't want anyone interfering with that, trying to lessen that burden. It is basically that, a pride as a warrior, and like that kind of thing. So that was also another section that I wanted to talk about. All right, was there any other parts here after that? Okay, a few other sections, like we see Mephisto over there later on. um you know like he helped out a few of those guys, and who was like following him. He's like, you guys go, and that, and he made those guys like his, like, as we saw, those guys were like, oh, you can give me power, and they were like, yeah, but he's going to literally control you in that way. You'll become like zombies. And they were like, yeah, sure. One of the guys was pretty cocky over there, and we can see later on that they're like literally following him like zombies now. So that's that. And then we also saw Chen. We saw Hoshiguma's choir, and the other girl, I forgot her name. They're like, like, we cannot really stop snow from falling, just like how we cannot stop Chen from doing her thing. If she's alive, we'll meet her again. That kind of thing. Right. And in the end, Kilshi kind of tells Anya that in the end, Patriot chose you by stopping, because he was going to kill her, but he stopped by the end. That whole like voice of Yelena stopped him. And Kelshi says, like, technically he chose you. He chose to give you the chance. Like, now we have to do what we have to do. And we have to stop this war. And the same faith that he gave Tallulah once, he has given that to you now. So we have a duty. Right. And there you go. That was it. That was my reaction to today's episode. If I missed something, if I'm like I misunderstood something, let me know in the comments. Because like I said, Arknights season 1 and 2. It's been a while I've seen those two seasons. I do remember most of the things. I did kind of try to freshen up my memories and everything. But maybe I've forgotten a few things here and there. So if I'm missing some context that I've forgotten in season 1 and 2 that was already given, let me know in the comments. But other than that, this episode, I could understand most of the things. At first, when I was reacting, there was a lot of things that I couldn't understand. But then after after my reaction ended, and I'm like going through the part little by little, I think I've understood most of it. If there's still something that I haven't understood or that I'm missing, let me know in the comments. And yeah, that is it. Thanks for watching episode number 4 of season 3. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. And yeah, that is it, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week with another episode of Arknights Rise from Ember. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.